Live stream. Here we go. What's up? Thursday, June 8th. I'm Stuart. Hey, Steve.
What's up, Stuart? Good to see you. Good to be with everybody today.
Grateful to produce this little program to connect with our community. We have a lot of fun recorded guests as well as a couple live guests. So we're grateful to be with everybody. Thank you.
A lot of variety today. So, Stu, what's up on the Smiles for Life front?
Man, so good. We're coming in for the old landing, right? Smiles for Life. As we finish up, you should have your orders in. You should be finished with getting whitening to your practice, and then we are wrapping up patients and donations. Get them all in. June is the month to really make that fun push.
3 weeks to go.
Yeah, 3 weeks to go. So that's it. I mean, it went so fast. March, April, May, and June. We're looking at our top list here. Steve, I wonder if we got any sandbaggers. Yeah. Who's holding on to cash here?
No, we had to have a rule against that, but there's always a few stealth offices out there that embargo the donations and they send them all in at the last minute to go from nowhere to the top of the list.
So funny. We used practices when we did the physical receipts that would actually hold on. They would hold on.
That was the worst.
So funny.
But so much good participation, and so exciting things in the week ahead. And I know that there's a bunch of offices that are doing a day of whitening in June, where they'll be dedicating an entire day. A lot of times it's a Friday where they'll just book all their Smiles for Life patients, whitening patients on that day. So June is going to be an exciting month for the Smiles for Life whitening campaign.
Yeah. We met with, Greg and I met with the Ultradent sales reps last week. They had a big national sales, well, not big, but all their sales associates were online with us talking about working with Crown Council, having the offices use the product. And if there's one thing that I would encourage all Crown Council and Smiles for Life offices to do, it is to show the utmost appreciation and respect to all of those Ultradent sales reps. That company has done so much for Smiles for Life whitening, which we could not do at all without them. So if you've got an Ultradent rep that wants to meet with you and talk and we just spend the time to meet with them and show the respect to Ultradent that they deserve for how much they've done for us. So.
Well, and Stuart, I've got an additional idea to that, which is if you need some help, call your rep, have them come over and help you out. I mean, if you're doing a day of whitening in your office and you want some support, they would love to come over, be part of the team, check patients in, do whatever needs to be done to support the efforts. So they're all in, totally committed, nationwide, everybody. Everywhere I go around the country and run into the Ultradent team, they love Crown Council and the Smiles for Life whitening campaign. So they're part of the team and at your disposal. So feel free to call them. And if there's a local rep in your area, because they're everywhere, they will be all in to help.
They will. Yeah, and they reinforce that when we talk to them. So great advice. Next week, Steve, we planned something a little different. I'm going to just go to our landing page here. Can you talk about what you've seen when it comes to cybersecurity? And I love the title here. We changed this Tuesday. You've been hacked. Can you talk about?
So this is a special webinar on next Thursday during the live stream. And I would highly recommend that you have at least one person from your team that attend this. This is not a one and done topic. This is ongoing. It is one of the biggest, as I meet with different companies around the country, and Stu, I'll just give you this little snapshot for everybody's information. So I'm in a peer group, one of many, of companies who do what we do in different industries. Right. So, we're in dentistry, and we have In that group, there's a company that works with CPAs, another one that works with optometrists, and we have a company in the group that works with IT companies. And every time we meet, he gives us an IT update on the biggest issues in IT. And for the last, several years, number one issue continues to be security. Everywhere in the country, every business, it is top of the list, biggest issue in IT. And it's not going away. It is a ongoing, everything is changing so fast. So in healthcare, we have we've got the double deal of not only just protecting data in general, but protecting health information, because you got HIPAA on top of it, plus all the regulations around how you safeguard financial information, credit card numbers, all of that stuff. Is now, and there's new legislation. We'll talk about this next week, but there's actually new legislation that levies some pretty heavy fines nationally if you're in violation, if you're found in violation of any of these security protocols. So big issue, and it's just part of what you got to do. And so highly encourage everybody to have at least one person for your team to attend. You can go down the checklist with us. There will be things that you'll learn. And we have on a regular basis, we have Crown Counsel offices that get hacked.
They do.
It is expensive.
It is. And Brent Pennell, who's doing this, when a couple of weeks ago, I was planning it with him, he said, listen, I get paid a lot of money to help you retrieve your data when you get hacked. He goes, so do I want to interact with you that way? No, I really don't. It's that bad for him. He hates to see it. So,
a lot better. So you've been hacked. That is a phrase you never want to hear.
Yep.
So next week we'll spend the live stream hour special webinar where you can learn the latest in that area of what you need to be doing to protect yourself, your practice, your patients, your data, your health information and financial information, so you're safe.
I love the additional title, cybersecurity lessons you don't want to learn from experience.
Right. Don't want to. So there's a great team from Control Alt Protect.
Yeah,
that's all they do all day long. Is they protect data. And they're the 911 team that comes in to try and retrieve it when it's been hacked. So they'll share some fascinating stories and some things you don't ever want to have happen to you.
Yeah. And Brent, we presented Brent with so many items. He said we can never do justice to what's happening. So we'll do this little webinar next week, 45 minutes. And then he's going to come back 2 more times, July and August, to talk about email, and all the different cyber threats that could happen to your practice. So we're grateful for that group. So very good.
Get ready.
Hey, very good. We've got yesterday I met with Tanya. She was
Bailey.
She was out traveling.
Super coach Tanya Bailey.
And man, they were in everything just seems a lot more fun in Miami. She was just in Miami, just having the time of her life. So we met with this great team. They have never been on the live stream before. So we've got a 10-minute interview with Tanya Bailey, our Coach's Corner segment. I'll play it right now. Give me thumbs up and make sure this works okay.
Amen.
All right, welcome to the live stream. Stuart here. This is Coach's Corner with our TOPS practice advisor, Tanya Bailey. Hey, Tanya.
Hey, Stuart. Good to see you.
Good to see you. That's not a virtual background. Those are real people. We're grateful that you're in a new practice. Do you want to introduce where you are and who you're with?
Yes, I am so excited to be in the practice of Dr. William Lamas, the premier periodontist in the greater Miami area. He is amazing. And his associate, Dr. Bianca Cabrera. And this incredible group of people here is the team that makes it all happen.
Very cool. And tell me what you guys are working on today. What have you already, I know you're at a little break, so what's going on?
Great question. So we're really working on systems for case acceptance, and we've really been refining how to deliver on the new patient experience, creating quality and really up-leveling how the patients come through their practice so they get that premium experience emotionally as well as clinically, because like I said, this is the best of the best right here.
If you're joining us for the first time or you don't know what's going on, our TOPS practice advisors are traveling around the country every week. They're in different practices and they're doing exactly what Tanya is talking about. And this is, Tanya, I don't know about you, but this is the funnest part about doing our live stream and connecting with the members of the Crown Council is just seeing who you are and meeting new people. So we're grateful to have you. Maybe I would love to hear some of like the biggest wins the practice is having from them, things that they're doing that they could share with the other 1,000 Crown Council teams that are working that they could follow. So William, do you want to share that and just kind of work on what you guys are doing that sets you apart?
Sure, Stuart. We've been working with Tanya for the last year, and she's visited us about 3 or 4 times right now. And every time she comes, she improves our systems and our interactions with patients, and works on us so that we can become a better practice overall, and our team becomes bonded so that when a patient comes through our office, they experience something that they haven't experienced before, something very special. And thanks to Tanya, we've been able to do that.
Thank you.
Nice.
They're hard work.
Dr. Cabrera, maybe talk a little bit about your team. What makes them different?
Our team all works for a common goal. No one's out for themselves. We're all working together, and it really is one of the best experiences that I've had so far practicing for over 10 years. So I'm really happy to be here.
Very good. Where's Christina on the team?
Christina.
Christina, patient coordinator, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Very good. Maybe you could share with the other team members from the Crown Council what your practice does for new patients. Is there something that sets you apart when a new patient visits your practice?
Yes, so it definitely starts with our NPR form. So that really helps in gathering the information that we'll need over the phone, building a relationship with the patient, helping them gain the trust from that point, and then just setting expectations so that when they come in, we have a little bit of a backstory, and now it's our turn to tell them about us and what we can do for them and get them to what they want.
I love that. Good. That was like rehearsrsed. That was awesome.
And if I could just brag on something that they do that a lot of practices talk about doing, but never really implement. Every single new patient that comes in this practice, no matter what kind of new patient, limited, comprehensive, consult, it doesn't matter. They take the time to tour the patient around the entire practice and really showcase not only the expertise of the doctors, but also the investment in the environment and the technology. They introduce the patient to all the team members that they're going to encounter. And when I watch that, we had a lot of new patients yesterday. And when I watch the patients, they're looking around and oohing and awing, because I can promise you that most dental patients have never been toured around the practice, let alone in a medical facility.
I love that. One thing, this is for the team, and you can be honest if you want. I can edit it out if this gets weird. But tell us about your doctors. There's a lot of doctors in the Crown Council listening. What is it that your doctors do to lead the team well?
This right here is a good example of what our doctors do to lead the team well. They educate us, they give us all the tools that we need to succeed.
And I think that we also work as a team with us and us with them. It's not that we're in a different category at all.
I like that. Very cool. Tanya, if you wouldn't mind helping here, there's a lot of, I assume, practices that patients can choose from in your area. What sets this team apart? What makes them different from other practices that people would choose?
Well, I think fundamentally, the from the top down, starting with Dr. Lamas, they understand that they're treating people, not teeth. And so their dedication, even, taking a day out of surgery to really work on how to take care of people, I think shines. And I know from the, times I've been here, the patients experience that. The doctors spend a lot of time with their patients in their initial exam and interview process. And they just really show patients that they care about them as a human first. And then, how they can then take care of their oral health needs.
I want I want an office tour. I want you to carry the laptop around.
It's pretty spectacular. We are scheduling new patients right now, Stuart, if you'd like to come to Miami.
I would. Tanya, this actually gives me a good idea. We should do this. We should do this is how we should kick off every segment as an office tour. We should wander around the practice.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Very cool.
Might be like that movie where they use a handheld camcorder and it's all shaky and.
Last question. I want to know about challenges that you're working through, things that you guys are working with Tanya on, and maybe what you've learned from those challenges that other practices could learn from.
Right. So the biggest challenge I think all practices are having right now is the lack of team members.
Huh.
We've been searching for new team members for, I don't know, approximately a year now. So it has to be the right fit for us. It has to be the right team member. So we don't settle, but there's not a lot of them out there. And ones that have come through, we haven't accepted them. And so we continue to look for these high quality team members so that they fit to what we want to do, as a team. We're missing about 3 people in the business office, and I think those are challenge. That's a big challenge for every dental office. All of my referring doctors call me every day asking if I know of anyone, and I wish I would know of someone to send them their way. But yeah, it's a big challenge now with the lack of employees up there.
Yeah. Well, if I knew where they're all hiding, I would tell. If I knew where they were hiding, I would tell you. We don't know.
So if anybody's moving to Miami,
Yeah.
I can tell you this is a great place to be. You won't find a better culture.
Very cool.
Yeah, with the lack of the team members, that we have to be more efficient, and what we're talking about today is being effective, right? We want to be efficient with our systems so that we continue to deliver the best quality of care that we can, and have the time that we want with our new patients. And so it's a fine balance, and we've been working really hard to try to keep that, right? But we'll eventually we'll find our team members and go back to
I love that.
very good times again. Everybody's putting in 120%. I don't like everybody putting in 120%. I want them to be putting in their 100%, and that's it, because we don't want anyone burning out here.
Yeah, very good. Well, more than anything, I'm grateful to connect with your practice. As part of the Crown Council community, it's very interesting to hear that challenge. And I hope that everybody listening, all 1,000 Crown Council practices and team members, know that you don't practice alone in this group. It's really nice to connect with you guys and feel part of that community, that sometimes you really do feel like we're the only one. Is everyone having as hard a time finding team members as we are? And thank you for your honesty. We're grateful to connect with you guys, and just grateful for you. Thank you, Tanya.
Yes, happy to do it. Excited to showcase Dr. Lamas and team.
Happy to do it.
Hey,
All right.
Hey, everybody. See you. Thank you. Nice.
He is, Stu. He is. That team is a superstar team. Well known all over the Miami area as just being the leading periodontist. He's awesome.
What a great team. They were so professional and very good. Hey, we talked yesterday about something coming up that you are going to arrange in July that hits that topic. Do we want to talk about that at all for a little webinar preview?
Yes.
Getting new team members. Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah. So I had a really interesting conversation with David Rao at Accelerated Dental Assisting Academy. So David runs an entire network of dental assisting training schools that are housed in dental practices, many of them housed in Crown Council practices around the country. And David takes personal responsibility for recruiting all of the dental assistants that go through that program. So he may know more about what's working from a recruiting standpoint than maybe anybody in America, because he's doing more of it. He's cranking it out. So he has generously agreed to share his secrets, open up his playbook, his recruiting playbook, for what's working now in finding team members. So that's coming up next month. We'll do a special webinar with David, and he's going to share very generously, just share what he's doing to open up the doors and find more qualified team members to work in practices all over the country.
Nice. Very good. You do a great introduction here to our next guest when you interviewed her, but I think it might be interesting to know how you connected with Julie Charlstein. How did that?
This is such a cool deal. So Julie Charlstein is the CEO of Premier Dental, and I think everybody knows Premier Dental. If you don't, I'm not sure what rock you've been living under. Premier Dental has been a dental products company for over 100 years. So they've been around. Julie is a fourth generation CEO. So the company has been in the same family since inception. And so Julie is the fourth generation family member CEO that leads the company. And I met her through my affiliation with the Young Presidents Organization, which is an international organization of CEOs. Julie is a member of that. I'm a member of that. And I received a copy of her book when she came out, when that book came out. And the book is Leading Through Crisis, how to lead a family business through crisis. But it's not just a family business, it's any business, how to lead it through crisis. And I ran into her again at a YPO conference I was at recently, where her work was featured. And so, you know, we're in the same industry, and she's all about leadership. Absolutely delightful woman, high energy. Wow. And we had an amazing time doing our most recent Mentor of the Month recording with her. And we're going to just share a clip of that here, just so you get a flavor of what she shared. And I'd recommend everybody go listen to the entire interview. You can get it on podcast or get it on the Crown Council website, because it's packed with great leadership advice that is applicable to anybody. So this is Julie Charlstein, CEO of Premier Dental. Welcome to the Crown Council. Mentor of the Month is Steve Anderson, and I am very excited to introduce Julie Charlstein, who is the CEO of Premier Dental, which is a name that everybody knows. She's been recognized by Dental Products Report as one of the top 25 most influential women in dentistry. We're honored to have you. And she has a list of other recognitions, including the Silver Stevie Award as Female Executive of the Year, the Gold Award by Best in Biz Awards as Executive of the Year, and one of the International Forum on Advancements in Healthcare's top 100 healthcare leaders. She is also the author of the recently released book, How to Lead Your Family Business, Excelling Through Unexpected Crisis, Choices, and Challenges. And one of the other, I think, pieces of this that's important to know, because we'll talk about it, Julie is a fourth generation CEO. Premier Dental was founded by her great-great-grandfather, and Premier is a 100-year-old plus brand. And we're going to talk about that, about brands that endure. So Julie, thank you for hopping off your Peloton that is right behind you. and taking a few minutes to give us some leadership insights for all of our Crown Council leaders. So thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm excited. I've heard a lot about Crown Council and your energy is great. So thank you. And Premier was actually inspired by was started by my great grandfather, Julius, which is why.
All right. So, but you are fourth gen.
But
correct?
I am fourth generation. So great grandfather, grandfather, father, me. 4.
Okay. Now
It's a lot.
So let's do the backstory first. My understanding is you had no intention of joining the family business. Originally, you were off on a completely different track. Give us the kind of little background and how you landed where you are today.
Yes, that's true. We always knew that, Premier was part of the family, and it was certainly something that we were very proud of and all knew about and recognized that it did amazing work bringing better oral health to people and partnering with dentists. But it was never something that we were forced to do or even encouraged to do. We were always encouraged to pursue what we thought was going to be of interest to us. So I was in a totally different direction. My undergraduate was in the very useful subjects of political science and Judaic language and literature. So I worked in those areas, and then I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. So I came and really just worked part-time at Premier. We have a medical division, and I worked in the medical division, and I liked it. And I said, okay, well, maybe I could see doing this. I hadn't envisioned business or Premier at all. And I said, well, maybe I should go to business school to see if this is kind of like really something. So I went to business school, and then I said, okay, well, let me see if anyone other than my father wants to hire me. So I worked out. Thankfully, the answer was yes. So I worked outside. I worked outside again. So after I graduated undergrad, I worked outside. Then I came in. Then I went to business school. Then I worked outside. And then my father started calling me. What do you want to do? What are you interested in? And that's when I started researching family businesses. I started researching our business. I started researching our industry. I hired a family business consultant, and then I decided to come into Premier, and I came in as a product manager. And that was probably like 21 years ago or so. And then I started as a product manager, became responsible for the product management team. Then I did business development. Then I became president, and then I became CEO. So I've been able to experience the whole organization through many different lenses and at different points.
You talk about, I've done some research on you. And so
Okay.
I'm going to take you back to a moment, because I think there's a huge leadership lesson here. Your first day on the job as CEO. It was either CEO or president. And tell us about that story, because you talk about the first thing you did was go in your office and shut the door and sit down, and tell us that story, because I think it just speaks volumes to the importance of leadership and understanding the role. Do you remember that story?
Yes. So your research so far is accurate. So I had been, as I had said before, I had been working at Premier at that point 15 or so years. So I was very familiar with the organization. Aside from having it been a lifelong partnership, at this point I was intimately and intricately involved in the day-to-day and the workings, and I had been president. So my initial thought was, during the CEO transition, it would be no different, because I was really pretty much doing the same job. So I came to work that day. I think it was April 1st, maybe 2016, not thinking that it would be that different. But when I walked into my office that day, it just, the weight of it really hit me, and the realization that this is not the same. This is actually very different, because now everything is my responsibility. There was a little bit of a crutch before, when I wasn't the CEO, when I was the president, when I thought everything was my responsibility, which was the wrong attitude to have and the way to think. But I just remember kind of sitting in my office and, like you said, closing the door and needing to kind of allow myself to be present in the understanding of the weight and the heft and the legacy and the future and all of the people and all of it. And it's an amazing and astounding privilege to be able to have. I just needed to have that moment of realizing that this is very serious business.
You're it. You are it. You're the one
Right.
leading the charge.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to take two different ends of the leadership spectrum. You lead a brand that is over 100 years old, which
Yes.
speaks volumes. I mean, for a brand to endure the ups and downs, and I mean, so we go back and look at World War I, World War II, Vietnam, the Depression. I mean, so this is a brand that has endured through all kinds of economic and I'm sure internal crises, the whole deal. So if you were to point back just in the company history, as well as the things that you've led through the pandemic, you went through all of that. That was one of your things. If you started as CEO in 2016, you led through all that. If you could point back to some characteristics or values or just really the anchor points that you would say, man, these are the things that have really aided in our being able to not only just endure, but thrive and be a 100-year-old plus brand. What makes Premier enduring?
Well, I think there are two adages that are always in my mind when thinking about Premier and the legacy and the future, and allowing what has allowed exactly what you're talking about, the constants, and not just the continuity, but the ability to do so with tremendous success. So the first is actually a Gatorade commercial, and that Gatorade commercial, it's probably about, I don't know, maybe 15 years old now. But it starts off in black and white with people playing basketball, putting balls into like apple barrels or peach containers or something like that, wooden. And the line is, to start a revolution, the only solution, evolve. So in order for Premier and any business to sustain and to grow and to perform through multi-generations, is evolution. You have to have the willingness and the flexibility and the hindsight coupled with the vision to allow for evolution. What do they say? The only constant is change. Right. And that's an inevitable. I remember having a conversation with my girlfriend about nothing related to business at all. I think she was like getting a new boyfriend or moving an apartment or something. And she's like, well, all the change. And I said, change is your friend. That's how you have to think about it. It's always going to be there. So get along with it. And, that's what I've tried to do, and what I've witnessed through Premier, through many different iterations, and also just stories that have been relayed to me. The other is what we call a Mortonism. My grandfather, G2 of Premier, was named Morton. So he has all of these wonderful, wonderful sayings. So we called them Mortonisms. And if you've read the book, which I think you have, you'll see them there.
Yeah.
And that is remember who you are. And that is paramount and central to everything that we do. Is you have to remember who you are, what values you have, what is important to you, what service you are bringing. And that is foundational and fundamental. So those two things paired together, along with a lot of wisdom, incredibly smart people, dedicated and motivated team members, that is what has allowed us to continue.
Man, she's got 25 more minutes of that. It's so good.
There's some really good stuff. I'm going to share just one thought.
Yeah.
That, that she shares, because there's just so many good leadership things on here. But one of the things she talks about is during COVID, she was listening to the soundtrack from Hamilton, from the Broadway musical Hamilton. And there's a song in there that is a song to George Washington, and the words say, history has its eyes on you.
Nice.
And so she talks about, if you really internalize that thought of, man, if history has its eyes on you, we think of history as being this big, global thing. But if history has its eyes on you and what you're doing every day in your practice and the difference you're making in people's lives, what will history say about you? Kind of gives a little different perspective.
Big time.
And so a lot of great pearls. Listen to the Mentor of the Month recording. It's on crowncouncil.com. It's also, you can get it podcast format. And the book is How to Lead. And I would just say how to lead your business. It's not just family. I mean, she is a 4th generation CEO. And I will say this, I have just a whole new level of respect for any organization that can stay in the same family for over 100 years,
right?
And be able to stage and train that kind of leadership to be enduring is remarkable. It's an accomplishment that not very many people achieve. So some great lessons. So,
well, when you were listing off, like, back to the Great Depression, I'm like, what kind of dental supplies did they have back then? Thinking about the innovation that has taken place since then. That's an incredible history.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, we've got one more segment. I interviewed a new resource partner. We were going to have a resource partner come on live, but maybe some technical troubles. We'll get them next week. So we have a medical disposal company that has been trying to break through into Crown Council for quite a while. And where we actually connected with them was they wanted to donate all of the medical, they really want to be part of our humanitarian trips and be part of some solutions there when it comes to medical disposal. So I'm going to play this little 10-minute interview I had with MedPro Disposal, and then we'll wrap up for the day. Pretty good? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. That's super easy. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the live stream. I'm Stuart Anderson. Kim Russell, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. Kim's from MedPro Disposal, a new resource partner here at the Crown Council that we're super excited about. And Spencer and I, as we talked about you multiple times, said, I can't believe it's taken this long to arrive at having you here and having a resource partner that provides such an incredible service for our doctors, one that they're doing all day, every day anyway. So, Kim, grateful for you. We've met a few times and happy to spend these next few minutes together. So grateful to have you.
Well, thanks for having me.
Maybe you could just introduce yourself, where you are, and what you do for the company.
Absolutely. So I'm Kim Russell. I'm the partner development rep over at MedPro. I've been here about 6 months, so I'm newer to the company. Naperville, Illinois, so we're right outside of Chicago. Okay. And I started actually on the sales side of the business. So I've been able to work that side and see that and then develop it into that partner development role. So we offer a ton of services. I'm excited to tell you all about those. So we'll get to that very shortly, but I do think we're going to be able to save quite a bit of money.
Nice. Yeah, let's do it. Why MedPro? Why would a Crown Council doctor let you in, as we were just talking, past the gatekeeper? Yes. What is
Absolutely.
MedPro?
Yeah, so MedPro's been around for a while, since 2009, and we're the largest privately owned medical waste company. We have about 40,000 clients, so we're all over the US. We've been pretty much in every state except for Alaska and Hawaii. We do actually have some mail back options there, so it's not a complete bust in those states, but it's just a little bit harder to access. Our retention rate is super high. We got a 97% retention rate. So most of our customers will stay 5+ years with us. Okay. So that should speak volumes to how we run the business.
Very cool. And then if a Crown Council practice is coming to you and asking you, what exactly do you do? Can you talk about that? What is the service that MedPro?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so that bread and butter is the medical waste side, and that would be your sharps containers that you have in the office, or any other potentially infectious material would go into those boxes as well. That's pretty much like our main source. However, we have drifted into other areas as well. We cover OSHA HIPAA compliance training, which everybody needs, right? Everybody needs that. It's online. The beauty of that is we take care of that for you with our account management team. So we're going to handhold you through that, make sure everybody gets everything that they need done. And it's also done on your employee's own time. We know time is precious, so it's nice to know they're going to be able to complete those, you know, within reasonable time period and not pull them all the way from work at the exact same time. In addition to that, we have document shredding and pharmaceutical destruction, as well as hazardous waste destruction. So a lot of dental practices come to us, they have lead vests that they need to get rid of. And so we have a recycling program for that, as well as we can take that amalgam too. That's another big ticket item that we tend to see come our way. So those are pretty much, that pretty much encompassed everything that we have to offer. And the medical waste side, we can handle anything from, you know, a weekly stop, which most dental practices don't need, to quarterly on-site visits. So that's every 3 months we'll come. And then, like I had mentioned previously, we do have a nice mail back option. So a lot of practices that are a little bit smaller and don't have that larger volume will take that path.
Very cool. And I'm looking on your, I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let me make sure I share the right one. Okay.
Sure.
You see my desktop? Is that good?
I do.
Okay. So you can save $2,500 per year on medical waste. Obviously that's a huge benefit of partnering with you. But when it comes to switching over, I mean, all Crown Council offices are already doing this. What do you say from that sales side? What is in this for a Crown Council office to switch?
Sure. We make it very easy and painless. So obviously you're going to be doing something already, and we realize that. So whether that be an on-site service or the easiest would obviously be if you were already in some type of mailback program. But if you were under contract, as most tend to be, we just work with you to make sure that we pick up right where they leave off. So typically when you're canceling that contract, they're going to come pick up whatever waste that you have and just take it from you. We're already going to be in place where we have that available to you so that you have no downtime in between that transfer. The other thing that we can do that has been a huge hit lately is we're going to price lock guarantee. So with the market the way that it is, say you're in a contract for another 6 months, you can't get out of it. We're going to lock those rates in at today's rates, and then we're going to follow up with you to make sure you cancel in time and get that in place.
Nice. One thing that all Crown Council members, resource partners offer is like a little something more, like a benefit. We want to make sure that all the resource partners are treating the Crown Council members a little differently or better, I would say. What benefits? Why would somebody switch? Why would a Crown Council member call you up and make the change?
Absolutely. Well, we're going to have that cost savings anyway. So we tend to be able to save about 30% on what you typically can save. And we're going to add an additional first month free onto that for your members. If we can't save in certain areas, we're going to bundle pricing and be able to get the price down in those other areas. So meaning, say they come to us with their current bill and we can't get it down in that area, well, then we're going to throw in some free services to be able to make up for that. So we have a lot of flexibility that we can work with in order to make it enticing and make it a benefit to your customers. Yes.
Nice. Kim, you work with a lot of dental practices. I'm sure you frequent many offices. What are you seeing right now that great or the best or the most successful dental practices are doing? This has nothing to do with disposal. What do you see the best dental practices doing? What are they like? Advice you would give to a dental practice?
As far as just making sure that all your ducks are in a row when it comes to compliance, my background is in OSHA compliance. So that's what I actually went to school for that originally. And I do feel like that's an area where a lot of people don't focus on, or they think they have it covered because they did it one time, but it's an annual requirement and those fines can be large, right? And they're in place for a reason. So I would say definitely just making sure everything's done properly so that you're protecting yourself and your staff.
Nice. Great advice. Very good. Kim, what's the best way today? How do you want Crown Council members to connect with you when we're done?
Sure, we have a landing page that we're setting up with you that I think is going to be attached to this. So the best way is just go on in there, fill out that information. It's going to come right to our sales team. Depending on the size of the practice, it'll go to the appropriate team and they'll reach out to you and get the ball rolling on that.
Okay. Let's see. Let's go there now. So crowncouncil.com, is that the right page, Kim? Are you looking at the right screen?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so in my directory, when you log into crowncouncil.com, here's my directory. It might look a little different from this.
Yep.
But every Crown Council premium member will have what's called here our resource partner. So you'll click here. And in the resource partner, you can scroll through and find the product or the company that you're looking for. But there's also a search. And when we go to MedPro Disposal, here's the landing page for them. So here's
Okay.
Kim's contact. And I don't think that this is the landing page, Kim, is it?
No, that's going to take you right to our website, I believe,
Okay.
but we'll get that to you. Yeah.
I
It
will
just makes
include.
it a little nicer, and then we know that you're coming from Crown Council, so we can ensure that you get those benefits that you're entitled. And just make sure to mention that as well to your sales rep, because they are aware that we're partnering.
We'll put our live stream video right here, and then we'll update this little link. And then, Kim, does this number go to you, or is that going to a sales team?
That's going directly to the sales team,
Okay. Just
and it will show up Crown Council when it rings, so they'll know.
cool. Nice. Okay. Anything else? Did we miss anything?
I think we got it all, but thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, grateful for you, Kim. Thankful for what you're willing to provide for Crown Council and the solutions that MedPro Disposal has. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, you too. There we go. Did that work out?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we're great.
Very good.
A lot of
Okay.
good resources. We got a lot of good people.
We do. And they are very enthusiastic to help and serve Crown Council. So thankful to have them.
So much.
Very good. Hey, our guest that was going to join us live, it always is the same. It's always the time zone. It's always the time zone. So we'll have our live guest next week. Actually, no, we won't. We're doing a
webinar next week on
Webinar next
Social Security. So yeah.
Okay. All righty, Steve, that's it. Unless you've got anything else, we're going to wrap up a little early.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks, Stu, for being our host.
You bet. Thanks, everybody.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.